everyone, so today on BKRsport, this is going to be a bit more of a chill video here where I'm just chatting away about a bit of a channel update and letting you know exactly what's going on here with BKRsport. Obviously, the rugby league season is finito. Congratulations to the Penrith Panthers. They absolutely deserved it, man. You know, throughout the entirety of the season, I was saying I don't know who's going to be able to beat the Panthers, and obviously no one was able to do that. So they did win it. We absolutely annihilated rugby league content throughout the 2023 season. We went to every single home or away Gold Coast Titans game, and regardless of results, regardless of if I was not too well, I still turned up. The results weren't great, but we still turned up because I'm proud of where I'm from. They're my boys, this is my city, and this is my community. So I'm very proud and happy with what I was able to achieve in 2023 with that. And obviously, the amount of streams that we did was ridiculous. I couldn't even count how many streams we did for games. I didn't miss pretty much many at all, to be honest with you. We did every single weekend, and the only games that we would miss would be obviously Titans games where Antonio would come on for a couple of them, and then obviously if we were both at a game, the ones that were next to it. So besides that, we did every single stream this year, which was absolutely amazing, and I had so much fun doing it, man. You know, this is my passion, this is what I love to do, and you guys make it all worth it. But the NRL season is done, so what are we going to be creating in the off season? Obviously, we do have the Pacific Championships that include New Zealand, Australia, Samoa, Cook Islands, Fiji, Papua New Guinea. We've got a whole bunch of talent there in the men's and the women's that are going to be competing, and we will obviously be streaming every single game live here on BKRsport. Plus, also, we're going to do our best to do the England versus Tonga game. There's 3 of them. There's 3 internationals there. They're not a part of the Pacific Championships. That's actually up in England, but I do actually live with people, so those games start at like 11:30 p.m. at night, which makes it pretty difficult to be my loud and crazy self when obviously there other people are around, right? So we'll see how we go with that one. If I can do it, I can do it. If I can't, I can't. But I definitely will be absolutely smashing out the Pacific Championship in 2023. At the end of the day here, we really are a rugby league channel. You know, I'm from the Gold Coast. It is rugby league to the core here. It's rugby league to the core in Queensland and in the 2 states that we obviously frequent, Queensland, New South Wales. I love my AFL. I love my rugby. I love my cricket. I love all that. However, you know, I really have wanted to really focus and smash out individual sports when I can, because AFL and NRL is nearly impossible to create consistent streaming for and create consistent content for when they're both on at the exact same time, right? The NRL will be on a Friday night at 7:50, 8 o'clock, but the AFL game would have started at 7:20. So you can't actually stream both those, and then you have to make a choice. Are you going to do this big game? Are you going to do that big game? And then if you do this big game, well, then you miss that big game, and then those followers are unhappy. And if you do that one, then those followers are unhappy. So I kind of made a decision this year that it was probably best that we just kind of really focus on an individual sport. And that's what we've done. We obviously did the rugby league season this year, and man, the amount of love that you guys have shown to me at games, obviously in those community awards that we saw the other night, being voted best YouTuber in the NRL community, best Titans creator, obviously, and I think it was best vlogger as well, I can't remember, but it's amazing to see the kind of impact that we're having. You know, I never would have thought ever that someone would ask me to sign their jersey, right? And we had a couple of people in Canberra. We had a Panthers fan, and that was for the Titans in Canberra, which I can understand a little bit more than others, but you know, we even had a Panthers fan come up and ask me to sign their jersey and whatnot, which is mad to me because, you know, obviously that means a lot to somebody that's a high financial, you know, support of their club, and to get me to sign that and be adamant they wanted me to sign it is just, it just shows that, look, whether you agree or disagree with my takes or opinions and whatnot, the fact is that we're all here as a community, and you guys really do love what I do create here. So much so that obviously, yeah, you're coming up at games, getting photos, saying hello, and it's just amazing. It really is amazing, because for me, I'm just a bloke from the Gold Coast, right, who loves my rugby league and creates content. But for you guys, obviously, you really, it takes you out. When you watch my streams, my vlogs, it takes you out of your, whatever's happening in your life, and you're able to just focus on footy, have a bit of a laugh, bit of banter, bit of, you know, shit talk, and have a bit of fun watching rugby league. And that's what we do create here with the streams, with the comment section. The comment section is actually nearly, arguably, as important as I am, right? You guys are literally as important as me, because without you guys, I don't really have people to conversate with and bounce off, right? Like, obviously, I commentate the game, I stream the game, and that's great, but it's great to see you guys interacting with each other, obviously asking me questions, obviously, you know, like I said, the banter back and forth it's all good fun, man. So yeah, you guys are just as important to the channel as I am. Just not when it comes to vlogs, because there is still a lot of Muppets that come up and do shit that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable, but it's always going to be a part of the job, unfortunately. It is. There's always going to be people who don't recognize that they're taking it a little bit too far, or they've just had a few too much to drink or whatnot. I get that. Look, obviously, if that's you, please don't do that. Like, just, you know, we just want to enjoy the game, but I do understand that with banter, with, you know, what we put out here, you are going to get that kind of stuff in return at times. Always happy for a bit of back and forth bantering at games and whatnot. Just obviously don't take it that next step. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't take that next step. So to get on to what we're going to be creating in this offseason, obviously, like I said, the Pacific Championship. Now, this season, I'm going to be absolutely rocketing home the NBA. I'm really excited for the NBA this season. My Chicago Bulls, I'm wearing my Chicago Bulls hat right now. That actually, the preseason started a couple of days ago. The last couple of weeks, well, last couple of weeks, I'd say, I have been taking a little bit of a step back just for a tad, just because, you know, it can be really mentally consuming doing social media. People don't recognize how much really goes into it. They think you just sit down at a computer and just talk to a screen. And although that is technically correct, you know, you mentally, financially, physically, and emotionally invest in the sport. So your emotions and your physical well-being all depends on results, right? And all depends on things that you can't actually control. Plus, obviously, it is really tiring to put your energy into the computer, into you guys. You know, I am an energetic person, but also when you do it so much, you can really get burnt out. It happens with everything in life, right? So the last couple of weeks, I have been trying to kind of just settle it down a little bit, just considering the season has finished, and then we're going to absolutely pump it again, and I'm ready to rock and roll again now. You know, you do need to understand, if you're getting into the content creation industry or social media, it is very time consuming, and it is very mentally consuming, and although you may think it's so easy, it really isn't. Like, it really isn't. It's fun, it's extremely fun, but it really isn't as easy as you may think. But yeah, we're going to be absolutely smacking out the NBA this season, and we're going to be starting it out as of tomorrow. We're going to be doing some of the preseason. Obviously, I will be streaming every single Chicago Bulls game, and then if there is no Bulls game on that day, I'll do a different game of, you know, a big game of two other teams. And if I can do 2 games in a day, I will absolutely do 2 games in a day. So those really are the 2 main things that we're going to be creating. We do have the cricket as well. Now, the cricket, there is the ODI World Cup on right this very second. But as I said before, 6:30 p.m. start, doesn't finish till about 2 to 3 a.m. And that's, you know, pretty much every day, right? So although I'd love to do it, finishing at 2 a.m. until I can get, you know, a place where I'm by myself, or I'm able to get like an office or whatnot where I can create content from that office, I'm not able to really do those real late night streams on a consistent level. Here and there, absolutely, but on a consistent level. So the ODI World Cup right now in India is actually a little bit of, I can't really do it. I can't really do it, to be completely honest with you. But the cricket, when it comes on with the BBL, we will be doing the BBL, because you've got to remember as well, the NRL effectively goes from February until October. The NBA starts literally now and goes through to May, but although when you go into that NRL season in February, the NRL is on at night or later on in the afternoon, whilst the NBA for us in America, our time zone is between, you know, 6 a.m. and 1 p.m. game starts, right? So it makes it a lot easier to actually do both of those sports, because they're both actually on at different times, and it's kind of okay to be able to do it. American time slots are actually pretty good, unless you're a baseball fan, and then baseball 1 p.m. starts in America are like 3 a.m. starts when you're a Chicago Cubbies fan like me, right? So you have to understand how to kind of, I guess, dilly-daddle around it and make sure that you can create enough oomph in the content rather than just kind of putting shit out there and hoping people enjoy it. Like, you want to do your best. You want to put everything you can into it. And NBA, I absolutely can, because it's not at the same time as the NRL. And then when it is on the same time, they're at different times in the day. And with the cricket as well, the BBL, will finish before the NRL season starts at night. So you kind of get that NBA and cricket content bang, and then you obviously move back into the NRL throughout that season with a little bit of the NBA in between. I was going to create the NFL this year, but obviously games again start at 3 a.m. in the morning. So although I'm up watching my Detroit Lions, baby, my Detroit Lions flying right now, stay with me, Super Bowl, can talk about some NFL obviously throughout the basketball streams, but I'm not able to do that. So yeah, I think you guys can get a pretty good idea for why I'm deciding to go down this path and whatnot. Another thing, obviously we do have a channel called BKR Travel. Now I do really want to obviously slap that one out as well, because it does take you away from that real emphasis on sport. Love sport, but sport can get really toxic at times and can get really, as I said, mentally consuming. When you're relying on results, win, loss, it impacts you. And especially when you're getting comments, whether they're negative, positive, whatever, you've got a lot to kind of take in. And sport can really, really drive you insane. It can drive you insane, especially when you watch as much sport as I do. You know, obviously Gold Coast Titans, Geelong Cats, Fiji and Drua, you know, Chicago Cubbies, Chicago Bulls, Detroit Lions. You've also got Manchester City, you've got the Brisbane Roar, you've got all these teams, and you can have a really happy moment from one of the teams winning, and the next day they lose. Another team loses. You know, for example, let's go and say the Chicago Bulls get a massive win, and then that morning, you know, 2, 3 in the morning, Manchester City play and say they lose. And then you kind of had that hype for that little bit, and then bang, you back down. You got to kind of hope for that next time, the next one. So to kind of take yourself away from a sport for a little bit is actually quite a bit of a positive. Although you are still absolutely smashing out content, when you're not doing that sporting content, you take yourself away from a little bit and just enjoy life. Because otherwise, you know, I do kind of want to have a life as well. You know, I'm a big fan of traveling. I'm a massive traveler. You know, I would love to get back over to America and travel around. Obviously Europe, you know, Asia, you know, even Africa to an extent. Look, everywhere, South America, everywhere. With me, there's so much more than just sport, but because obviously I've really delved into the sport side of things, people don't really recognize that and know that, and I have so much more to offer in regards to travel and in regards to doing things that aren't just watching guys play a game at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So although that's what we love and that's our passion, I also have a passion for travel and, you know, watching movies and doing all these things that take you out of your reality. So we will be creating content on BKR Travel going forward. But I think that's pretty much all we need to talk about for today, guys. Like I said, NBA preseason will be cracking on with tomorrow. I'm really excited for the NBA, the BBL when it comes back. Just to quickly clarify as well, I don't think I'll do A-League, because A-League, like, I'll be able to absolutely annihilate it until, you know, February, March. But then the NRL comes back around, and then I won't be able to create the content that you would love for the finals and whatnot, because there'll be NRL games on at the time. And I don't want to have that decision-making thing that I have to do there, where it can disappoint people, you know? So we probably won't be able to do the A-League, but overall, man, I love this channel. I love the community that we've built here. I love what you guys do, you know, as supporters, you know, for your teams and for what we create here. It really is amazing to see the amount of people that we've got together in the community now. We're obviously on our way to 25k, soon to be 30k. I would love to get to maybe 30,000. I don't think we'll get to 30,000 by the end of the year, but if we can, great. But I know that we'll be at 25,000 probably within the next couple of weeks, which is pretty great because we do have the Pacific Championship. So yeah, appreciate you guys as always. Obviously, if you don't follow me on Instagram or TikTok or whatnot, go and do that. Links in the description. Massive thanks as well to GameDay Squad for collaborating and partnering up for the NRL Final Series. They were awesome. Obviously, go and check them out, again, in the description. But yeah, we're going to jump off here for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some NBA, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Alrighty, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bing. See you later.